You don't know the power of the dark side.
But you know, happiness can be found even in the darkest of time. If one only remembers to turn on the light.
The beacons have been city! The beacons are lit!
Night gathers, and now my watch begins. It shall not end until my death.
Remember it well, then. This night.
For in those memories, we live on.
Do not cite the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written.
Call the banners.
All of them, my lord.
They've all sworn to defend my father, have they not?
They have.
Now we see what the words are worth.
But take heart. Look around you. You're not in this fight alone. We face our enemy together. And together, we will defeat them.
By all that you hold dear on this good earth, I bid you stand! Men of the West!
Wait, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Shut for 1 second. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. You're just coming off stupid.
We're fucking back.
What's up?
It's been 22 days since we did this shit.
Has it really?
Yeah. Well, you fucking broke your back, and then you had to go hang out with your fucking family because apparently you love your family, which blows my mind.
Well, they came out to visit. You know.
And then I think there's another one in there somewhere. But how you doing, bud? Work, yeah, probably.
Good, man. What's going on? I'm excited for tonight. What's up,
Sorry,
Bobby?
I just got broken there for a second.
I didn't realize this many people watch.
I think there's only 6 people watching.
It says 6, but a bunch of people are getting fucking.
Well, it's because Raider just decided to show up and drop 20 fucking memberships.
Oh, look, the King's Court received a membership.
Did I really? Raider. I don't really have anything that's great anymore. I still have this. Huzzah, Raider! Huzzah!
What are you drinking? Is that just water?
No, it's a little bit of absinthe. No, it's. Can you imagine? I'm not 18. It's some cold brew.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with like high quality absinthe, but
I actually think I've had absinthe once in my life, and I was wrecked prior to having it, so I don't even remember what it did. Oh, how's everyone doing? Jeremy is here. This really weird blue named Aliens of Conspiracy. I don't know who they are. I don't
know who the fuck that is, but he sounds like a psycho.
Yeah. Dude, okay, I actually got something to talk about with you today about that. I mean, not that's it's space related. Debbie, the girl from Down Under, is here. Rogue Sarge, how you doing, Bobby? Bobby's probably at war now. And no, actually, we're not at war anymore. That's another thing I have to show.
All right, Karasai, I'll let that one slide. But you've been warned.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you've been warned. I do have modding abilities.
This is a safe space. I gave him an American card. You know that gold card, that gold Trump card.
The fuck? Oh shit! My flag isn't in screen. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Oh, did you move it? You moved it.
Yeah, I did move it.
I gave him that gold card, so he's protected. Yeah. But he had to give me the. How derogatory? Okay.
Spick?
Yeah,
Wetback?
No. Okay, so I assume you did not see the King's Court episode this morning.
No.
I was going to use this because she says this word in the article. I was going to use it. I just put it in the private chat. but I've only ever heard it like 2 times, and I don't really think it's that big a deal, but I didn't want
cholo?
to use it. Yes.
That's not a
So,
derogatory.
yeah,
That's not even.
the article
Spick
said
is
it
worse.
was. I know.
Spick is worse.
Yeah, I know it is.
Yeah, cholo. That's just like.
Yeah, he gave me his cholo card.
Yeah. I'm not Mexican, by the way. If anyone's
I
confused.
know. Yeah, he's Filipino. Well, he's actually fucking American.
I am. I'm American first.
What's this? Oh, we're gonna talk about that later. Sorry, I haven't gone through Twitter at all today, and so I'm just now seeing like a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And
well, if you see something you want to talk about, save it.
Absolutely. What's up, Margaret? How you doing? I didn't finish saying hi to everyone. Bobby, what's up? Breezy, how are you doing, man? Okay, this is funny. Remember when you moved into your apartment?
Yeah, and it was just empty.
You and I both moved into a new apartment, kind of about the same amount of time. And you yelled at me for not buying something. What was it that I didn't buy?
A bed, I think.
Yeah, it was a bed. That you yelled at me for still sleeping on a air mattress.
Yeah, well, it was like fucking 2 months.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you weren't wrong. So I just saw this on Twitter.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what it was. I mean, like that little circle image, I did that for like a full year. Like at least you have a mattress, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also my air mattress was like 3 feet off the ground, so it was a little better.
I mean, mine was like that too when I was doing that. And in my defense, like I feel like it's a little bit more acceptable when you're in a studio because like you don't really have like a bedroom to pimp out or anything. But that could just be me making excuses. Yeah,
I had a bedroom. Oh, you see this little like spot on my nose?
No, I don't see.
Okay,
that.
So I was doing a bunch of stuff this afternoon, and the printer ran out of paper, and so I had to go get paper, which is 4 feet from my desk. So I rolled over there, and then I was like, "Oh, I need to get scissors to cut the straps on the paper boxes." And so I rolled back over, grabbed the loop of the scissors on the handle, and this, so that they would come out and swing, and it swung down and hit me in the fucking nose.
That sounds like something you do.
Representative Andy Ogles has formally asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to revoke Zaran Mondani's citizenship and deport him to Uganda.
Damn. Honestly, I'm not that locked in. I have no idea who that even is.
He's the guy that just won the Democratic primary for New York City.
Oh, is he the guy that's trying to create all these fucking government-run bodegas?
Can you imagine if...
That'd be hilarious.
Look, it would be fucking hilarious.
I was listening to a political podcast,
but it would be wrong.
They're like, "Oh, what a surprise! A guy who's been American since yesterday is now trying to turn the whole state or the whole city communist." Which I agree with.
That?
Get the fuck out of here.
Is Freedom Tunes on YouTube?
I think so, but I think it's mainly Twitter.
Is it?
I think
so.
I mean, that's where I normally see him.
Yeah, I saw it, but I can't find it now. Here it is. Okay. We're gonna watch this real quick. This was fucking hilarious.
Is this Trump yelling at his kids? Daddy Trump?
Yes.
This shit's funny.
I swear, if you two don't stop, I'm going to turn the car around.
Donald, don't get involved.
Ayatollah,
I love how JD's just like, shut up, stop getting involved.
I told her that's it. In 30 seconds, I'm going to slap you. I'm warning you so you can move your head mostly out of the way.
Don't do it, Donald. Just let them fight it out back there.
15,
Donald, my king, do not.
3, 2, 1, smack. In 30 seconds, I am throwing my juice box at you. No,
Dude, that was the weird thing that apparently, we find out like, I think 20 minutes before they're supposed to start bombing our bases, that they told us so that we wouldn't have anything where they were going to drop bombs.
Yeah, something about this just, I don't know.
It's weird. There's
something off about the whole situation,
I am warning you so you can avoid any damage. 15 seconds. That's it. Both of you sit on your hands. You have 15 seconds.
What are they doing?
Getting their last slaps in before the ceasefire. Good.
See, that's what I mean. Like and I've done.
Wait for it.
No more seatbelts. No more seatbelts.
Hey, we were back here hoping we could get those mass deportations now.
See, okay, pause. What's funny about that is the amount of people that were like, amount of people that were supporters of Trump that started to turn his back within a week. Of I can't believe it. I didn't vote for this, all this other shit. And I was just kind of sitting down. Like, obviously, I wasn't happy with what was going on those couple of days, right? But because, like, that's one of the main reasons why I supported Trump was the
new wars.
Exactly. Like, he's not going to drag us into this. And so many people I saw losing their shit, like, almost on the level of fuck Trump, And it's just like, okay, let it play out, see what's going on. And that's one of the weird things that I was, alluding to earlier, like a second ago with the whole something fell off about it, because it's like, we're going to do a 24-hour planned ceasefire type of thing. Most ceasefires that I've seen, especially in recent times, have been like a ceasefire has been made. Everyone stops. But then like, it was like the first 12 hours, Israel is going to do a ceasefire. And they're going to let them just continue with the attack.
It was timed out. It was very, I agree.
I had never seen that. I'm like, okay, so what's the point? They've agreed upon ceasefires, but they're going to let the attacks continue forth. And the way they kind of worded it, if I'm remembering correctly, was like the missions that were already planned and starting to be executed, we're going to let them finish those missions. So you're just going to like allow these people to come in. I don't know if on each side, if like folks were dying through that, but it's like, that didn't make sense to me.
It reminded me of when the ceasefire on for World War I was planned. And it was planned because it was decided over here, but it was going to take like a week to get all the news all over the place. But that was 1980.
Okay, so I wasn't thinking about that. Like the regional aspect kind of makes sense, but
we don't need that anymore. We don't need 6 hours. Maybe if it was like, okay, Israel's going to stop doing everything in the next hour and Iran's going to start in the next 2 hours, maybe then. But 12 hours was a long time.
The thing that just like threw me off was, first of all, the planned ceasefire. That this side gets 12 hours, this side gets 12 hours. And then the other thing was like letting them execute the missions they were doing. Like, I didn't realize that's how war worked, where you like, it reminds me of like fucking the 1700s, where you're like, okay, we're going to line up here and then fire at you.
Line warfare.
And then, and then you can take your turn when we're reloading. Like, I didn't realize that's how it worked and operated these days,
Yeah, it's very, I mean, look, it seems to have worked. It's been, I think, 3 days since anyone fired any rockets.
Good. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find this video. Did you hear of what happened here in South Carolina? So I believe it was actually here in Lexington County. Which is, I love how I said that because I don't even live in Lexington County. I said here. There was some space debris. And you're going to see it right there. So it was apparently seen from North Carolina, South Carolina. People in Georgia saw it. But they're saying that it impacted here.
Is that a glare? Is that a glare in the middle of the
right
camera?
here, I think it's just a glare off of his windshield. But this right here is what they are talking about.
I see it. I mean, okay, so like what I see is just something coming out of orbit and burning up in the atmosphere.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I see.
That's exactly what I saw. But I thought, that would be something quite interesting. Yeah, see, they saw it here in Lexington, South Carolina, which I mean, this road is probably 45 minutes from me at the most.
Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of like I don't know physics enough to know, like, to be able to gauge just from a video, like how far away that might be. But for all we know, that's hundreds of miles away, right?
Definitely.
Like, which probably is hundreds of miles away. But like, what I see is it flares up and then disappears, which tells me that it just burned up in the what, and it could be just
quickly,
like a.
too.
Yeah, it could, like the angle. It looks like it's coming straight down, but that angle could actually be. It could be kind of going more parallel with the Earth, and actually, if you look at that again, you kind of see how, like, at the very end, when it
kind of fizzles out.
Well, yeah, it expands and then gets thinner as it disappears. To me, that's kind of showing like the focal point that it's actually shooting forward versus down, right? That's just I'm not going to pretend like I know. That's just what I'm seeing, is that it's actually.
Buddy, you're on YouTube. That's what you're supposed to do.
Oh yeah, pretend like I'm a fucking genius, and I know
absolutely.
And my YouTube handle is Aliens a Conspiracy, and that's fucking aliens. I see it. I'm telling you, man.
It's the sword bites, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah,
I'm a little bit more rational than that.
I saw that. I was like, man, I bet he would love to see that.
Yeah, exactly, Breezy. Yeah.
I actually, this won't surprise you at all. I had my high school had a like customized outerwear type thing, and for Christmas, my father bought me a sweatshirt that said, "I am right."
Yeah,
on the front of it.
And I mean, that's very fitting. And I will say, Breezy, I agree, and because I agree, you're wrong by that statement. So I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, I was seen in Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee. People in Tennessee saw it. Yeah, that's wild.
A little bit.
Okay. I mean, we're 18 minutes in. What do you think? Should we just go ahead and talk about it?
About Bond?
Yeah.
Well, there's a few other things. There's that. I mean, if you want,
the Capcom thing happened.
Well, fuck.
Did
Capcom.
you watch that?
I don't give a fuck about Capcom. I mean, we can watch. We can.
Well, hey,
like,
Jeremy's here. Jeremy, was there anything that wasn't shit in the Capcom thing?
You know, Jeremy's like, no, it was all incredible. I fucking loved all of it.
Is there anything that actual people wouldn't think was actual shit? Holy, this thing was 41 minutes. Oh, they did show that that Pragmata game. They showed more gameplay on that.
Why am I not seeing all the channels in your Discord?
An all-new site.
Yeah, so this thing, remember this?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not like too interested in that game.
With a unique hacking twist. It's been a while since we first announced it.
But
what do you mean it's been a while? It's been fucking like 3 weeks, hasn't it?
So I'm not convinced we went over that game that I posted in your server.
Yeah, I'm going to pull that up as well.
Yeah, because that one, I'm way more interested in that.
Definitely.
To Earth.
I haven't even looked at this. I just want to see what's in here. Just kind of jump through, see if there's anything that's even remotely interesting.
Fucking Sims ass looking character.
What is with that?
That's
You
what I'm
wanna
saying.
talk
Looks like
about-
fucking
you wanna talk
wire
about
is
body dysmorphia.
Yeah, why
Holy
are his
fuck.
hands fucking massive?
Hey, what was that shit? If your hand's bigger than your face, you have cancer.
Is that and then you do that, and then someone fucking
yeah.
smashes your hand. Why does his head look like the size?
Yeah, what is this?
Okay. This has nothing to do with the race, but he looks like a chimp. I'm gonna be honest. Like, can we edit that out? Let's edit that out.
Well, it was fun having a YouTube channel. Everyone, I'll be over on Keys Court. There is a reason I started that. Well,
fuck you, Chris.
Get
the fuck out.
Emperor of Muay Thai. So get the
okay. There's a
And we've
fighting
also
game
prepared
called
some throwback
Sagat.
stickers and emotes.
Yeah, that's not gonna get fucked up at all.
James, Capcom Esports.
Don't
Your
care.
destiny. A remaster.
Do
from
not
the-
care. I know Beardo and X-Wing care, but I don't give a shit about Resident Evil. Do you?
Yeah, I don't know either.
All right, awesome.
一人称視点と、三人称視点2つの
Oh, so this thing was just so they could announce Resident
の
Evil.
辻本です。
Don't care about Monster Hunter.
っていうのをしてなんとせ
Dude, I'll tell you, if I was a Capcom fan, I'd be pissed at that. Literally, like 2 things and some DLC talk. Okay. Let me pull up that game.
Yeah, and then after, let's if you don't mind, did you watch that that Blood of Dawnwalker gameplay?
I think I watched something, but I didn't watch. I haven't seen like.
So we don't have to watch the full
big
thing
thing.
because it's pretty long, but there are a few points I'd like to bring up on that one after we're done with
Absolutely.
this.
You know, I
And then-
have to say, I really appreciate you using the correct channels.
Oh well, I mean they're made for a reason.
Yeah, I just sometimes I just naturally just assume people just drop everything in general like Sean did. Okay, blood message.
So
was
this
the correct
game,
one, right?
it's all in a different language, which normally would put me off, but it just looks so fucking fun that I don't care at all.
So like you can't play it in English.
I don't know. Like that's not
Okay.
clear yet. I hope you can. Regardless, it still looks like a fucking incredible story.
Well, first, let's just make sure you didn't have the wrong language selected. Okay.
大唐还在的时候，丝路上的灯火从西域一直亮到长安，能点亮天上的星河。大唐离我们太远了，神佛还会庇佑河西吗？我是认真决定的，我还是想再试一次。 今日，
And I think this is a mix. I think this is a mix of gameplay and cinematic.
Gameplay and like cutscenes.
Cinematic. Yeah, cinematic. I think it's a mix of the both because they show kind of.
Is that Chinese?
I think so. Yes, because I forget. Is Tang Dynasty? Is that China?
That sounds Chinese. Yeah.
I couldn't tell if it was because I know Mongolia had dynasties as well. So it takes place during the Silk Road, and that's why I'm getting confused because I don't know if it's when China basically owns the Silk Road or if it was.
Yeah, so the Silk Road has a kind of a weird history where China owned like the bottom part of it, and the Mongol dynasty under the Khans owned the top part of it until until Kublai finished conquering the rest of China. Which would have been great to see in that fucking TV show, but Netflix fucking canceled it.
Fucking loved that TV show. I don't know.
I haven't watched it. I might rewatch that.
I've watched it plenty of times, so I know what happens after each scene. But the way they ended that, like when his dad
with the fucking
in the fire in the Templar Knights,
the fucking cross in front of the Capitol. Oh my god,
it was just getting dope. Hopefully, they renew that shit eventually.
Those people, all those people are doing so many other things. They'll never come back. It would cost way too much to get them to come back. By the way, Google does say that it's not just in Chinese.
Perfect.
我们必须在破城之前把宁带出来。
All right, my favorite thing off of just not this part,
必须在破城之前把宁带出来。
but this is, to me, this doesn't look like it's going to be on rails. It looks like it's going to be open world.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell, but it could be a mixture of both. Kind of like there, some games do that.
The older Assassin's Creeds that would have like big cities you could go around in, but then there were really only like one or two ways to get there through the roads.
I mean, also the Jedi games are you know, the most recent games. Those are kind of like that. Like they're open worldish, right? Like you can explore different areas, but they are, for the most part, you stick to a pathway, you know. Yeah, see, like that looks like gameplay, like straight up.
Yeah,
gameplay.
I agree. I definitely agree.
And it looks fucking sick.
It looks good too.
Like, dude, the gameplay wise, this looks better than Assassin's Creed.
I agree.
The new ones.
Also, that's a dude.
Yes, exactly.
Which is a really pathetic thing to have to be like excited about, but it's a fucking dude.
And just wait. Yeah. Keep going.
去长安，你这是让他们去送死。
Bro, like this shit looks sick.
Yeah.
And I was there's a comment on this video that I saw on YouTube, and it was like it's a mix between Uncharted, Assassin's Creed, God of War, and I think they said another game, but like all three of those make sense.
Look, as long as it's not the fucking conversation part of God of War, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, some of that
conversation. Still haven't fucking.
Some of it's really
finished
good though.
Ragnarok.
Some of it's really good though.
Yeah.
回家吧，这一切毫无意义。 天命所归，我才是大唐。
See, like, are those Mongols? Looks
I
like
mean,
it.
look at the hats. That looks Mongolian.
That's what I'm saying.
So are you,
dude? That
so
shit
you're
looks
Chinese
sick.
fighting the Mongols, or is this like a rogue faction?
I think this not even
We
a
have
rogue
asked
faction.
more
I think
questions about this than we have any other game we've looked at this year.
yeah, and I think
没有我的帮助，你走不出这片。
so. Like, yeah, this chick shows up, and I'm wondering if like you play as like if it's an optional or if they like make you play a few missions with her.
But I mean, based off of kind of like the ethereal look of this, is she real? She might just be some like mystic person type thing.
I would say she's real in the game, in the world of the game, just based off of watching it. I think she's just like, so you see the sun, you see her, you see her.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you play as him the whole time and like she's just like an additional character that follows you around, or if like you have to utilize her. But like this interests me here because it's like there's clearly going to be puzzles too, right?
Well, I like a good puzzle.
I do too. I hate when they're extremely confusing, but
like Myst.
Yeah. And dude, look, the different settings of like I think this game has a chance of being pretty fucking sick, man.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, you like feet?
No, the second I said I was talking about her stepping on the coals, the second I said that, I knew you were gonna fucking say that. No, I'm not a foot person. Yeah, I think you're definitely fighting Mongols.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be the majority of the enemy, and then maybe some thieves along the Silk Road, something like that. Yeah, I mean, dude, that game looks dope to me.
That's pretty cool. It's a great name too. Blood Message.
Yeah. And what it reminds me of is like when you see in a TV show where it's like all answer in blood, that type of thing. You know, that's like the rhetoric that I get from the vibe that I get from this. Like whatever's happening is like you're not going to be playing nice. You're going full force. Like I'm going to get my son back, because that's basically what the trailer showed. Is that you're looking for your son, you find him, and then you have to bring him back to wherever you are.
Yeah, that's cool. PC and consoles. I love it.
Sick.
Yeah, that's. Oh God. Hell, this is a commercial. Oh, because I'm on King's Court. Okay. I was about to get real pissed.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't think we've watched anything like that on the channel.
No, I think I was thinking of a different game. That really does look very good.
It does, and I will most likely be buying this game the second it comes out.
Yeah, definitely not Yote, right?
I'm probably gonna get that game still, just to. I
really hope it's just a slight annoyance of not being able to continue the other story for you, and that you go, you know what, it was a fun game.
Yeah, I hope so too. But well, I mean, we'll see. Like, it might be one of those games. It might be like The Last of Us, where I buy it, I'm like, fuck this game, and I stop playing it. But
okay, no, we're not gonna put it off anymore. So the new 007 movie has its director, Daimyo. He is your best friend, your favorite director right now.
I don't know why you say that.
Denis Villeneuve. What are you thinking? Do you think it's a good thing?
I mean, we slightly talked about it. I don't know if it's a little too early to tell if it's going to be good or bad. I know you've got your opinions already, but look, I think in terms of if he's just directing it, I think he does really well with the visual aesthetic of films and filming, and like he, as a director, he has a very good vision, as seen in the Dune films, and then also Sicario, which really are what I know him from. I can't even put a word on, or I can't even think of another film outside of that.
The only other movie of his I've seen is Arrival. And I did see Prisoners, but Prisoners, I would never use Prisoners as an example of what a Bond movie would look like, because it's not close to a Bond movie.
So if Chris is still around, this is what you were waiting for.
Taylor Sheridan conversation.
Yeah. So when you have a good writer like Taylor Sheridan writing and kind of guiding the film, and then you have someone like Villeneuve, like with Sicario, again, like there were a lot of shots that I think in that movie, especially when they're like, it felt real. Like when when they're in a gunfight or in situation like high stress situations, I think Villeneuve did a really good job of expressing that on screen.
Well, the coolest thing, and I'm pretty sure this is a director job. I guess it could be an editor job, but it's probably a mixture of the two. Is if I saw this after someone had to tell me about it. I'm not this like anal retentive with this shit. But when they're in the cars at the border all of the scenes from her perspective are tight. All of the scenes from the others' perspectives are wide.
Are you talking about those two dudes who break down little scenes like that?
It might be. It might be them.
I think I've seen exactly.
Yeah,
I do know exactly what you're
there's
talking
a bunch of videos that do that kind of thing, but yeah, and which is very interesting. If that's kind
I'd
of,
actually say that's a directorial thing. I wouldn't say that, and I will say the editors are at the behest of the director, right? Like,
I think most of the time, I think it probably depending on the director. Like, if he's a good director,
I
think he needs to be in that room.
Okay,
helping
that's a fair point, but he doesn't even necessarily need to be present. They could, like, he could lay out, hey, this is what I want. They edit it. He comes and watches it. I don't like this. I don't like that. This is good. And if you're, a good director, it's like any type of management. You're the one guiding what you want from a certain thing.
So, from my best perspective on editing is from Peter Jackson editing Lord of the Rings, where he was actually in the room with the editor or the two editors. So it was, I forget what her name, well, I forget what any of their names are, but he was in the room with the editors for it. Every single cut, they'd sit there. He had the cut book sitting there going, okay, now we're going to look at shot number 322, and we need to cut it 45 seconds in and all that. Like, he was there with them making every decision.
So
that's definitely like a high bar, and I mean, honestly, to be fair to everyone, comparing anything to the way Lord of the Rings was done.
But
too much now.
But what I was going to say is, I don't think that's necessarily I don't think that's subjective to Lord of the Rings and Peter Jackson. I think that's a pretty common.
Oh yeah, that's just the main example of editing that I'm aware.
Now, one interesting point I want to bring up is that you had mentioned previous to the stream that they made it clear, or you said something about how they need to choose a director before they choose an actor, right? So what I immediately thought when you said that was, well, this whole rumor started to pop up about that. I forget the guy's name.
The black guy.
Yeah. Like,
well, here's the latest rumor.
Well, is that actually true?
I doubt it.
I doubt that, dude. I doubt that.
It wouldn't shock me.
I mean, we don't have to touch that yet. But like, what I was gonna say, what I was getting at was the rumor started popping up, right? That he's basically first choice, and it got out, and internet started blowing up, and they went, oh shit, like, we need people to be excited about something. Let's give them who the director is going to be. And they gave us Denis Villeneuve. And I think it was a way of damage control. That's kind of how I'm viewing it, where like someone leaked it that's who they're going to go with, and they're like, okay, they're starting to freak out. The internet's starting to freak out. We know that he's popular. Let's throw them this bone to try to kind of course correct the narrative of the upcoming Bond. But my opinion is that that's not going to help your situation when you are 100% race swapping Bond, which is, it's not 100%, but like, it hypothetically, if you are going to race swap Bond, doesn't matter what director you choose. Like, that movie is already on a route downhill.
DOA.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no good chance that movie has, whether you want to just talk about completely changing a character that's so well known, or wanting to check off stuff from the internet people. There's no chance that movie has any good shot of success. You don't need to, let's say I have a list here of what I want in James Bond. Let's say it's 10 points. You don't need to give me all 10. Okay. If you want to sit there and move one of them, whatever it is. But there's certain ones you need to check off. One of them is he needs to be British.
Yes.
The other is he needs to be white. Like,
yeah,
I'm sorry,
and
that's just who James Bond
and
is.
there's also nothing wrong with him being white, you know. And I was kind of talking to my father
Exactly.
about this when he was around, because he's a huge Bond. He's been a Bond fan. He might have read a couple of the books, but he's been a Bond fan since like the first one, you know. And he was like, "Well, Bond is a code name," and I go, "I understand that, Dad, but it's not. It's not about him." 007 being a code name. It's about what was written in the source material that seems to be getting thrown out the window day after day, right? And so I would say this is just as damaging as what they did with Snape at HBO, and it just shocks me that these studios are still fighting this, right? Like
absolutely,
it's the whole argument of the loud minority, right? Like, for whatever reason, studios have it in their head that the loud minority are who's going to make their film successful. It just doesn't make sense.
Buying tickets. It's
Yeah.
the same. It's the same thing with video games. You know, they keep doing this stuff to video games to make the SJWs and the gay community feel seen or some bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like, do you know how many women buy video games?
Yeah.
It's not enough for you to think that you don't need to cater to the men.
Right. And also, it's not a good argument for the representation. Like, if you want that that whatever community, LGBT, race minorities, like, if you want that representation, build something that will represent what you want from it, right? Don't, because you're only going to piss people off that are already passionate about a franchise if you take that and stir the pot in that sense. Lack of a better word, I can't really, you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like, it's only going to piss people off. I think again, that's why it shocks me that studios are still doing, like, making changes like this. Like, what are you expecting? And that's why I asked, I think it was this morning even, like, is this going to be a Prime release, or is this going to be a
you asked me that
release?
this morning.
Because if it was theatrical, or if it was a streaming release, like, it would actually have a better chance, right? Because people like you and I would be like, all right, whatever, it's on streaming, I'll just play it and let's see, whatever. They'll watch it, they'll get better views. If they make this choice,
if
they put it out on
paid
theaters,
$20,
right?
And this thing with something like Bond, which I haven't seen in a movie theater in 5 years,
right?
5 years in October, I believe. I'm not just paying the $17 for the ticket. I'm going to dinner. I'm getting a bunch of friends together.
Oh yeah,
this is going to be this is going to be $100.
Dude, when I like to go to the movies,
hammered in the theater.
Yeah,
I'm getting Uber home, or
I was just
$5,000.
I was just gonna say, like, I don't have a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of IRL friends out here where I'm at, but, like, when I plan to go to a movie, dude, I make it a whole event. I'm going, like you said, I'm gonna have dinner at the bar, like, at the theater. I'm gonna have dinner there. I'm gonna order a bunch of cocktails and get nice and drunk and watch the movie and have a good time.
That's not James Bond.
Making a decision like this is literally giving us the choice, like, fans like us, the choice to be like, well, I'll just wait till streaming because I already know I'm not going to enjoy myself,
exactly.
Which is sad to say. And, like, some movies that I'm not as passionate about, I'll be like, oh, whatever. But, like, growing up, like, watching, and I'm not as big of a Bond fan as you, but I can confidently say that, like, like, I grew up with those movies too. Pierce Brosnan's Bond, even Sean Connery's. Like, I was, like, my dad had those on anytime they came up on TV. Like,
and
I was
watching almost every Friday night there was a James Bond movie on Spike.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it just gives people the excuse to be like, well, I already know I'm not going to be happy, and I already know how I feel about it. And so it gives them the opportunity to just preemptively be like, well, fuck this movie, you know?
Yep.
So they're shooting themselves in the foot. And look, let's be honest, it's a rumor. We don't know if it's gonna
absolutely
play out like this, you know?
This
and
is
this could just
the
be
fifth person to be rumored in the last 3 years. So,
yeah, and also in their defense, everyone, it doesn't make sense that this guy is the leading pick because everything up until this has been a white British dude.
Yeah.
Every person in the name. Theo James, who else is it?
Aaron Taylor Johnson. They
yeah,
said
exactly. Aaron Taylor Johnson.
The Eckhart guy from
Eddington, not Eddington. The dude from Kingsman.
Yeah,
I know he was in the mix.
The only reason I don't want him is I think he's too short.
No, I agree, and that's the same thing. But my point being,
Taron Egerton.
Egerton,
because I think he's like 5'4". Like he's a short.
He's
kid.
probably my size, to be honest. But you see what I'm saying, right? Like everyone in the mix up until like last week has been of the what's it called? Of the source material, has been an example of the source material. So I just don't understand. Sorry, dude, give me 30 seconds.
Yeah. Taron Egerton is 5'9". So yeah, he's just not tall enough. You can film around height. What's his name does it in every single movie of his. But if you're not tall, you don't look right in that kind of role. And I don't think he'd be able to do it. No, that's not to say I don't think he's great in Kingsman. I think he's absolutely fantastic in Kingsman. And that's honestly what I was kind of hoping we'd get more of. I was hoping they would do more Kingsman movies as well, because with the exception of The King's Man, which I think kind of got ruined because of COVID and people not going to the theaters, I think if that movie had come out in 2019, I think it would have been a hit. They're not going to go out and make $1 billion, but they'd make their money back. They'd make enough for bonuses and shit like that. Like Matthew Vaughn is a good director. The problem is Matthew Vaughn decided to do dumb shit and go do Argyle, and then end up saying, "Oh, Argyle and Kingsman are in the same universe." Oh, sorry, I muted you again.
No, you're good.
Saying Argyle and Kingsman are in the same universe and trying to make this theatrical franchise world that just wasn't going to play out. Dummy, what do you think about this? Did you hear about this? This is GameSpot's review for Death Stranding 2.
Oh, are we done with Bond?
Well, I mean, we don't have to be.
Yeah, I mean, we don't.
Villeneuve. Villeneuve. Sicario, Arrival, and Prisoners are the movies I've seen of his. You, I assume, have seen Sicario, both Dunes, and Blade Runner?
Oh, right. He did do Blade Runner, which, again, more aesthetic than story.
Yeah, but if he wasn't the writer for... Did Blade Runner look good?
Yeah, I thought it looked great.
Right, so
I have seen Prisoners, which I liked.
Okay. So, yeah, if he's not the writer, that's the thing. There are several Bond movies that don't look great, but are good stories. And I would rather take a great written James Bond with a good actor and, a bunch of shots that I'm like, y'all, we should have cut that earlier, or this would have been better if it was up on a crane camera instead of on a low camera. Shit like that. I would take that over a beautifully looking James Bond that you're just sitting there going, what the fuck is this dialogue?
So that's why I was saying I don't think it's necessarily negative yet, unless if they have another writer they don't go with the casting that's rumored right now.
So what has
think it'd be
Villeneuve
a lot
written?
more. So before we get into that,
Okay.
because I know you're going to agree with this. Skyfall, I think if he writes it, we're going to have a trilogy of Skyfall. That's how I'm kind of seeing it. Where I know that because I think that's beautifully filmed and as in a movie sense is actually decently written, but for a Bond sense,
Yes.
it's more of an
yeah.
action movie than a Bond movie,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And that's what I think we would get if he writes it. And I think it would look really good.
Yeah.
The action scenes would be really good, but it might not hit the notes and the beats. Of
Well,
a
and
Bond
that's
character.
one of the reasons that I didn't really want Nolan either, because I don't like the way Nolan does dialogue.
I also don't like the
enough
way.
of it.
I also don't think Nolan does well with a centralized character. I think.
Well, I mean, he's only got one example.
I'm just looking at all of his movies. He never.
Well, so
does,
I guess I'm thinking of a character over a series of movies
no,
of a movie with a main character.
I'm looking at all of his movies, and he
Mm-hmm.
never, in my opinion, never hits a focal point of a character that
Mm-hmm.
that's who you're following. The character development is always all over the place, and that's kind of just how it. I think he's a good filmmaker. I'll admit that, but yeah, I don't think Nolan would do great with.
Well, his best movie he did 20 years ago.
Which is?
The Prestige.
Yeah, I still have not seen that
Dude.
one. I've wanted to.
I think it's Nolan's best work. I think it's a lot better than any other thing. It's better than anything he's done in the last decade.
Yeah. I should.
But my concern with Villeneuve, if he ends up being the writer, okay, well, all he's written in the last decade is Dune, Part 1 and Part 2.
Yeah, which I don't think Part 1 was well written.
And also, to be fair, you have a book.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're coming up with the story.
And I do just want to make this point, and I know you might disagree with me. I don't think when it comes to movies that you need to have an accolade of 10 films to be considered
I
well written.
I do agree.
You do agree. Okay.
I think that there are ways to guess, but I mean, look again. I said Nolan's best work is The Prestige. What had he done prior? I think he'd done 2 movies before that.
Yeah. I know. It's just the only reason why I brought that up is because you already know who my favorite director is, Alejandro Iñárritu, and every time I've brought him up, you're like, well, he's only done 5 movies, but those 5 movies have all won awards, multiple Oscars for some of them, so.
Hand to God, I was going to say Francis Ford Coppola.
I think you only have that in your head because
of Megalopolis.
Yeah, because I was excited for that 3 years before the movie came out because I saw the cast.
Yeah, that's the only reason I have that in my head. But yeah, hand to God, I was going to say Francis Ford Coppola, right?
I mean, I think Francis Ford gets his accolades for The Godfather. I mean, that's about it. But yeah, let's not get on a tangent.
Did he do all 3 of them?
I think so, but I mean, 100% the first 2. I mean, I'm pretty sure he did all 3 of them though.
Yeah, I can't remember because I know there's a bunch of change between 2 and 3 because what's her name was a pain in the ass to work with, and
yeah, it's just the only point I was trying to make is that just because you don't have you're not a director like Nolan, where you
with a whole bunch of 100%, man.
In fact, there is an argument of quality over quantity, right?
Absolutely.
So which is what I think the epitome of.
So I would argue that I think if you're going to go with best, let's say best director. All right, I think there's 2 ways of looking at that. You can either look at money, or you can look at the most appealing movies. like things
Yeah,
that
yeah.
look great. And I mean, if you're going money, then I think number one is what's his fucking name? Michael Explosions.
Yeah, Michael Bay. The
Yeah,
thing
I
that
think Michael
okay,
Bay
no,
is number one. If you went money, I think he's not. And
I hate to
that's kind
say
of
it.
how you
There's
know.
I hate to say it. There are too many retards in the human. I'm sorry, there's way too many retarded humans who are willing to just throw money at whatever they want. I think
Yeah.
it's a mixture of both. It's the
Yeah. I mean, the
artistic
best
eye. There's
directors are
yeah.
The best directors are going to make money, but also know how to make their movies look good.
Yes. And then also it's like there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that you don't see. Like,
did you see that thing on Twitter? It's been going around that showed like when they in Jurassic Park. Apparently, there's a frame that doesn't have the Velociraptor and the T-Rex's mouth, and there's a bunch of people going, "Is Steven Spielberg really just a fraud?" I'm relatively sure it's rage bait, but it's like,
I don't
how
know.
can you
It's
think?
that also kind of goes in line with the whole jeans guy in Star Wars in the original trilogy, where the guy, I think it was the original or prequel.
Oh yeah,
but the guy like has a Starbucks coffee and he's like wearing jeans and he somehow got captured in the shot. I mean,
in Lord of the Rings where the panning shot where you see Frodo and Sam walking through the cornfields, there's a car going by, and you see the dust picked up.
Well,
it's like
so
that doesn't mean anything.
There's a lot of things that people don't think about too, though, with directing. And one of my favorite like clips of Tarantino is him explaining that like what makes a good director is not just like how your end product looks, but also like how you're managing your set and the production itself. And what he says is like if a really unexperienced and poor director will oftentimes the lead actor will start throwing in his thoughts and ideas like let's do this, let's get if he feels like you're not
controlling enough,
being yes, but like if you're not confident as a director and being like, this is my show, this is my vision, you're going to listen to what I say. A lot of the times these big actors and these big names like DiCaprio, whoever you want to put in there, they'll start interjecting because they feel like they can, right? And so that kind of a tangent, but I think that's something important to kind of look at in this stuff, but
So I literally just looked this guy up because I was thinking he might be interesting. So a couple weeks ago, I rewatched The Bourne Identity. And
The Bourne Identity?
Bourne. Thank you very much. And I'm looking at what he directed. What his name's Doug Liman or Lehman. He directed Edge of Tomorrow, Swingers. The big problem though is he just recently directed the new Roadhouse movie.
I just think that's a poor fit. I think that's a worse fit than Villeneuve.
You think so?
I do. I like the Bourne films, but they at the end of the day,
I guess they are just action movies.
They are corny action movies, and if you really pay attention to the
way corny.
Some of the scenes, I like the setup of the story, but also
well, so
when I say corny is they're very, and he does the whole like shaky cam thing way too much, and it's a lot of like, there's just a lot of it's Jason Bourne, it's Bourne, like, and then like they cut like it'll be like some crazy. So that he actually does a good job with the choreography of like that stuff is really well done. But like everything else to me seems kind of choppy.
Do you think that we have a problem with too many, not necessarily too many cooks in the kitchen, but too many people or the ability to direct has become too popular now, that there are too many people who are directing and maybe should be the assistant director or the stunt coordinator or something like that instead?
Not necessarily, because ultimately, like, you only have, I'd say, 10 to 20 names that are like constantly in the conversation of like successful and like household names of directors. And a lot of the times, let's be honest, a lot of the times, like the majority of people that are going and paying for movies don't even know who directors are. You have to be passionate about this shit, and you might know the name Nolan, you might know the name Cameron,
you probably know 3 or 4 names.
The majority of people aren't really looking at that, and so I would say it still goes in line with what the point I was making, that like, yeah, for the most part, I like, you only have a handful of them that are like legitimately like well known. So
I mean, the at the end of the day, the big issue with Villeneuve directing this is England's guy, and he's fucking French.
Fuck
like
the French.
How England's gonna be okay with that?
Yeah, look, he might not have a bunch of films under his belt, but I don't think it's the worst choice yet.
No, I agree. There are not enough red flags for me to be concerned about this movie yet.
It will be a red flag though.
The second the actor's announced,
yeah,
that's going to tell you. Like, that will tell us more about the direction they're going with this movie than anything else.
Yes.
And they could have casted fucking Phoebe Waller-Bridger to direct it, and the actor would still tell us more.
The worst thing that could happen, worst case scenario, they confirm the rumor about the actor, and then they follow that up with Villeneuve will also be writing it. That's when I know it's pretty much. No, I really do. I really don't think he's as good of a writer as he is a director, you know, and that's proof. The proof is in Dune 1.
You better pull out that green card.
Blade Runner, huh?
You better pull out that green card. I think they're here for you.
Oh, you heard that? It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. I've got a passport and an ID that I can show him. You know, and I can just come out wearing my American flag tied to my shoulders and be like, "Hello, how are you guys?"
Well, that's okay, because the bad ones wear the Mexican flag. So
yeah, and I open the door and go, "Oh no, la migra, no inglés." No inglés.
Did you see that video of all of them running by going, La migra, la migra?
Yeah, por favor.
Oh my God.
No
Dude, we've had 4 people buy houses in the last 2 weeks that could not speak English.
I'd be like, well, fucking good luck.
One of them had been here for fucking 4 years. How do you not pick up enough English to understand in 4 years? That blows my mind.
Yeah, no comment.
It's probably best, honestly. Let's just next topic. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at his writing, and the only thing on here that I've even heard about is Dune.
I'm shocked. I am shocked at where this. It feels like out of the blue that this guy all of a sudden is the runner, like the front runner for.
It's absolutely out of the blue. Look at
we've had.
Look at his directing credits, dude. Outside of Sicario. Oh, you're talking about the actor?
Yeah, because
absolutely.
the front runners have been Aaron Taylor Johnson and
what's his name?
And Theo James.
You don't know his name.
What?
The actor's name.
Something Pierre.
Well,
pretty sure he's French.
Look at you, dude. I will fucking burn someone down if a fucking Frenchman becomes both the actor and a fucking director of.
Well, I mean,
Aaron Pierre. Good job.
He could still be English with a French last name. I mean, I'm fucking Filipino American with a Portuguese last name, so you know, like that's just how the world works these days. But still, I don't understand where this came from. Like all of a sudden, like. Because like we've been tracking this stuff for kind of like a couple years now at this point, like 2 years. Like I'm regularly every few months like looking into like who is the next James Bond, and it's always like the first two names that come up are Aaron Taylor Johnson and Theo James and a couple other names, you know, but like that's who's been in the mix for the past fucking 2 years.
Yeah,
And then all of a sudden this guy pops up.
I don't think there's any chance that he's doing this because he's gonna be playing Jon Stewart in Lanterns. They're supposed to come out, my understanding is late 2026. They want the 007 movie in mid 2026.
Yeah, this could also just be a fake ass rumor that like
I think
caught wind.
Was the guy that they originally announced for Snape, is that the same guy that they have announced for Snape? Because remember there was a black actor announced for I think Snape like a year ago, and then they actually announced a black actor 2 months ago or something like that. But I don't
remember.
Let's see.
I think it was the same guy. Honestly, I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure it was the same guy.
Let's see. The Hindustan Times. I can't find it. It would take me way too long to go find that shit. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see some sort of change in. Sorry, where were we? I was trying to bullshit my way to remember where we were.
No, you're fine. I mean, and we can move on after this kind of last thought to wrap up. But I would say that even because I know you're big on like, because Daniel Craig was a really good Bond, like, but not.
I mean, he was. Yeah. So I think Craig did a very good job in what's it called? Casino Royale. I think he did a good job in. So you got to put an asterisk on Quantum of Solace because there was the writer's strike during it. And then you've got to remember that Skyfall, while it's a great movie, is not a good Bond movie.
But the point that I was trying to make was that like it wasn't his fault that the Bond movie didn't play out to be a good Bond character.
Yeah,
right?
the
actor
only
was good
with that. I mostly agree with that. But again, we do have to remember that with the exception of his first movie in Casino Royale, he was a producer on every other James Bond movie.
Yeah, but I wonder, like, I know, like, you can be a producer on it, but I do wonder how much, like,
how
much pull? Have. Yeah, how much pull do you actually have?
Well, that is a very good point because again, how much pull would you actually have?
What I was going to finish on is that they could make the best written Bond character and movie and story, and you could walk out being like, "Wow, that was a damn good." Like narrative and a really well written Bond character, and if it's this Pierre guy, that won't matter.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of where I'm at this point. Like, it's just not. And I think we've all had enough of the race swapping and the lack of care for certain IPs. So I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to get any more bigoted.
Yeah, 100%. I think we're all just really sick of seeing the stuff that either we like or the stuff that we're expecting to be done a certain way just completely ignored and thrown out the window to appease 3% of the world's population who don't buy the movies, don't buy the tickets, don't buy the video games. And it's all so that they can sit there and say, hey, look at how great we are.
Yeah. Well, they're like, you only make decisions like this to appease, right? And to pander. That's the only reason why you make decisions like that. And these aren't the people that are going to buy tickets to your movie.
Yep.
or buy your game, right?
Now,
Like,
the biggest hope that I think we've had in general on this is the fact that Amazon did just fire Jennifer Sulky, and
remind me who she is.
She was the head of Amazon, basically Amazon Studios, and her babies were Rings of Power and Wheel of Time, and they just canceled Wheel of Time, and it is. There are rumors, and again, how good are your rumors? But there are rumors that if Rings of Power Season 3 does not actually pick up, that they'll be canceling Rings of Power as well. They're already trying to sell it for syndication. And the problem is the only thing that anyone would, the only streamer capable of paying what Amazon would want is Netflix. And Netflix is only going to pay to put something on their platform that's going to bring in money. And there's no way that someone, even if someone loves Rings of Power, there's no way that that section of the pie, not the pie graph, what's the Venn diagram? There's no way that the section of has Amazon and doesn't have Netflix is big enough to make Amazon to make.
I was gonna say it don't matter if it's on Amazon, Netflix, or Paramount or whatever other streaming service. That shit's not gonna get any better than what it is right now. And in terms of Amazon, like they have a few like things that slip through the cracks, like Invincible and The Boys, but Invincible isn't as bad with the whole like DEI stuff as The Boys is, but like they still like that, like there's a lot of that shit in there. Invincible is a good enough story to where it's like I can overlook that, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's still there, and I don't want to see it.
It just sucks. These are things that we all loved watching, and now they don't exist anymore. Yeah. This is. Did you play the first Death Stranding?
No.
I know it was a PlayStation exclusive for a while.
I've watched a decent amount of clips and like heard people talk about. So, from my understanding, Fujima, who is the writer, I believe, am I saying that? Is it Fujima? Am I correct?
Brother. Look at your talk.
Let me give me 1 second. Fujima.
I know it's not Hideo.
Death Stranding.
Oh shit.
So hit I'm forgetting. Kojima. Sorry.
Okay.
It's Kojima.
That's who I was.
From my understanding, it's very like he always does very surreal, like by the root of the definition, surreal. Like it's surrealism, like art, like Dali style stuff. Like he does.
It looks incredible.
Yeah, it's just, and I've talking to a few people that I know, like they really enjoy the game, but it's not your conventional like video game.
Yeah.
Like you're not running around like attack. Like from my understanding, there's like 2 missions where you're like actually running around like shooting stuff and like there's action. For the most part, you're kind of a courier. Like that's the whole point of what's his name, Daryl Dixon. Why am I forgetting?
Starts with an R.
Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
Sorry. So yeah, like. So wait, Lord Botha, he literally said he made this game worse after testing because people liked it too much.
Well, that's slightly annoying.
If that's true, yeah, that is slightly annoying.
This is the thing that I think's dumb about this. So this is GameSpot, who God, I even drank coffee. I'm yawning. Who, for a very long time, was the go-to online source for video games. And they gave the second one a 7. And the good was revisiting the world of Death Stranding is exciting. Photorealistic visuals are stunning, even on a base PS5 model, which I've seen videos of, and it's fucking incredible. Core gameplay is still unique. And the bad, and this is honestly everything on the bad, I think is dumb as hell. Repetitive story beats that are too close to the first game. Have you ever played a sequel? Like every sequel, they like that's how you do a sequel. You make everything very similar to the first one because you want, because if you don't, then people aren't going to play your sequel because it's not a similar storyline. It's not a similar game. It's the fucking Homeland 2 did that. Homeland 1 was an incredible game, and then Homeland 2 was not anything like the first one. Focused on weapons and spectacle distracts from uniqueness, so I guess there's more fighting in this one. Friction is lost, rendering some challenges superficial. I don't know what that means.
I didn't realize he was like he's mainly Metal Gear Solid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did not realize that. Look, like I can't speak too much on this stuff.
Well, so
honestly.
this is the thing. So apparently, one of the things that they lowered the ranking on this game for was because it had questionable tropes about women. So GameSpot is now taking in the content of the games, the stuff that makes the game, their story, how they treat the women in their video games, how many boxes are checked on whether or not you're going to get a high rating.
Well, look, the dude's Japanese. Like they're not. That culture is not concerned about. Most likely, he's just like, I don't know. He's probably not representing in the way that they want. That's.
Yeah, I just think. What do you think about this? What do you think about using? I mean, I just think it's fucking crazy.
I mean,
come on, give me something, man.
No. Like, well, I mean, I don't really know exactly what you're asking. Like, what do I think about the questionable tropes on women? Is that
how dumb is it to lower a game's rating because the storyline has questionable tropes about women?
Well, I mean, dude, it's the same bullshit that we see on every fucking news headline from CNN or all this other shit. Like, and I didn't have an answer for you before because I was looking something up and not listening to what you were saying. I'll be honest. But yeah, look, I mean, I don't even have to say much about how you know exactly how I think about this stuff, right? Like it's overplayed. We see this in every other piece of media, right? Like they're gonna, and honestly, the this GameSpot reviews, I'm not even sure. Like I don't think I've ever gone to them, but I'm pretty sure.
Really?
I'm pretty sure they're going to be the same thing as like Wikipedia.
So GameSpot was like my go-to for cheat codes.
So then I probably might have not. I probably have been to them like back in the day of like GTA 4, right? Like when you like look at the cheat codes to get all the weapons. I probably have been to
San Andreas to find the maps for shit.
But look, dude, the whole gaming industry is 100% left leaning. Like we can't,
which is pathetic.
We can't be surprised by this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just, I hate to say it, I'm not passionate enough about this game to even care that much, right? Like,
that's fair.
Like I'm going to be completely honest. Like it you know, it's I guess a little interesting to discuss this, but in no way am I surprised or shocked that they put questionable tropes around women in the bad category when you're dealing with an artist from the East, specifically Japan, where it's like the whole culture of Japan is a patriarch. And I don't mean to say that in the like that word's been poisoned, right? But like in the actual root of the word, like of patriarchy, like that whole culture is that's how it is, right? And so
yeah,
I mean, there are similarities between America and Japan, sure, but ultimately, like they're That's why they are winning the. I'd say like that's why anime is way more popular than fucking American cartoons. That's why like when we looked at that game Blood Message, that's why it looks way more intriguing to us than an American game because they're not giving a fuck about what our politics are. They're putting out interesting creative content, so sorry to go on the rant, but that's what I think about.
Yeah.
That's what I think about this. It's there's a reason why the East is kind of dominating the creative side of culture right now worldwide. But I'll leave it at that. Did I give you something? Is that enough?
Ooh, what are we opening?
Another beer.
There you go. Ah, it's a gay beer.
Ultra? Michelob Ultra?
Oh yeah, women beer.
So I can't drink White Claw or Ultra. It's fucking hot as shit. I'm not about to open an IPA out here. It's fucking
dude, no, I'm not
80% humidity.
IPA, fuck that shit.
IPAs are good.
I don't think I've ever had an IPA I liked.
Okay. You also like Yingling, which are disgusting beers.
Yinglings are delicious.
They're not.
That's just because you're from California.
If you like, bro, California has good beer, like actual good craft beer that's being made. Pilsners from IPAs. Not everything from California is gay, by the way.
Are you sure?
There's some normal people out there.
I'm just scrolling through Twitter now.
Yeah, I mean, so the only thing that I think I left on the table was Blood of Dawnwalker that we don't like have to go through if you're not interested in that game, and then also
but there is more gameplay, isn't there? Or
well, there's a gameplay trailer, and then the other thing is Crimson Desert. That game I showed you a few months ago is coming out pretty soon, from my understanding. So I don't know. That might be. I don't know if they release anything new.
All right, so this gameplay for Blood of the Dawnwalker is gameplay overview. It is 5 days old, so we've definitely not talked about this.
Let me take a leak real quick before we jump into this.
Yeah, Davey says as long as you're not drinking Foster's, you're okay. Okay. How's everyone doing tonight? I'm just sitting here scrolling through Twitter, looking at all the stuff that the King's Court really needs to make a video about. Someone tweeted that early reviews of James Gunn's Superman call it the best Superman reboot since Man of Steel. Isn't it the only Superman reboot since Man of Steel? That tranny is apparently wants to play Mystique now. Okay, so this is the overview. So I assume it's a lot of talking.
Yeah, so I was actually
Is there gameplay like for most of the time?
Yeah. So go like the only real part that I wanted to talk to you about was right around the quarter of the video. So okay, a little bit further back than this, when you see him fighting about a little bit back, basically at the start of this fight. Yeah, like right there.
Observes his enemies. We'll begin this fight by using acrid dust to stun one of the enemies. Now, when you attack, you choose one of 4 directions: up, down, left, or right,
Okay, so
in order
Kingdom
to
Come.
hit the opponent where he is
Yeah,
unable
this
to
threw
attack.
me off. Like,
And
I don't know
similarly,
if
when
I'm like,
defending,
I
you
don't know
have
if
to
I
take
would like
note
this.
of the enemy's intent and the direction of the attack. On the left side of the screen, just above
Like,
Khan's health,
you might
have
actually enjoy this
activation
game a lot
bars,
more than
which
I
will
would.
be filled in with each successful attack, block, and parry.
I don't
Once
think
they
I'd
are
like
full,
this.
you can use one of the active abilities.
I will
to
tell you
allow
that
to take
with
a
being
more
in third
tactical
person is a
approach
lot
to
easier
fighting. We
than
started
first
the
person.
fight by throwing some acrid dust. And now let's cast Burning Blood. It's a hex which boils the enemy's blood and burns their skin, dealing physical damage over time.
I'm just going to say, if you've got your blood boiling inside of you, you're
Now
not
to
doing a
finish this
fight.
off,
You're going, oh my
let's use the
God!
final activation charge to cast the artery attack, which actually decapitated the last opponent.
I don't know. I was
Our
pretty
hero quickly
pretty
dispatched the
upset when I
bandits,
watched
so
this. I was
let's
like,
loot a few
God.
What
items
did you
they've
want?
left
Did you
behind
want like
and
Skyrim sort of combat? Elden Ring?
Actually, I wanted more combat. I was expecting something more like, what was that? Shadow of Mordor. I was expecting
Okay.
something a little bit more fast paced. And I understand there are some lore issues with the Shadow of Mordor stuff, but like in terms of gameplay, that shit
Yeah,
was
it's a great
fun to run around. Like
Absolutely.
fuck enemies up. Like, you're because it's kind of similar. I would say like you could have done something similar with the abilities aspect, where if you're like, because you could do those dashes in Shadow of Mordor and then sneak up behind like that shit felt intense and fun. Like you could just go through and destroy 50 enemies, like that's what I thought the game was going to be. And it turned out to be a little bit more like Kingdom Come, where it's a little bit like they took like what I saw from this gameplay, because I only got like through like maybe half of it. And
well, and to be fair, that's a problem as well. Like if you are really high on this game, and if the gameplay reveal doesn't make you sit down and watch all 20 minutes, then
yes,
that's a problem.
Well, and it's like by the trailer and the marketing, it made it seem like it wasn't going to be a majority of like a survivalist game, which is kind of how they make it seem. Like, so you use magic and you use your abilities, it takes away from your health, and then you have to eat consumables to regain. And look, after so someone that has a bunch of time on their hands, this might be fun. Like, I'm trying to come home, relax, play a video game for like an hour, cook dinner, go to sleep. Like, rinse and repeat. That's kind of how I'm doing right now. I don't want to sit here and like, oh shit. So in 5 hours of gameplay, I can finally get to a point where I'm enjoying the game. So it just kind of threw me off, and we don't have to sit on this for too long.
No, I agree that there's issues with it does kind of feel like video games are kind of being torn into a bunch of different places now. Do we do a game where you have to put in 30 hours a week to play, whether it's 30 hours a week in the sense that you need to keep doing it to stay good and relevant and know all the tricks, sort of like a Call of Duty type thing, or whether it's 30 hours because you just keep having to redo the same boss fight over and over again, like a
right.
The problem is that they don't really make video games anymore for people that just want to come home, relax for an hour or two, play a little bit of game, and then go to bed. And it feels like those people have been replaced by, or those games have been replaced by the Fortnites and the Battle Royales and shit like that. And well, Jeremy, send them to me. And shit like that. And that's not the game that I want to play.
Yeah, exactly.
I want, and I think the big game that everyone's waiting for that is going to do that is Elder Scrolls 6. but it's been 7 years since the fucking reveal
Yeah,
trailer came
I was
out.
gonna say
So-
that we're probably gonna get that when we get GTA. It's on the same level, probably way further past that.
Exactly. Okay, so you sent me this. Is this a like explanation of the of this unveil?
Pretty much, yeah. This is just a photo.
Launching in 2026. Live as a human by day, vampire by night. So very much of like the whole dual character thing in
Yeah.
Shadow of Mordor. So Jeremy said that leaked footage from or leaked images from Black Ops 7 got revealed.
Yeah, let's try to find that. And then, probably gonna end it after that for me.
Yeah.
I'm probably done after this one.
Jeremy, all I see are 2 images. Is it just these 2 images? Yeah, okay. So you said some. I thought you said 20. Okay, so this is what we got. So this picture and this picture.
This is something. Okay, that looks horrible. That dude on the left,
Yeah.
that looks horrible.
So we're never going back to boots on the ground, huh?
Yeah, and this is giving real Infinite Warfare
Yeah.
vibes to me.
At
This
least advanced warfare.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Call of Duty needs to take a 5-year hiatus,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Get people excited
Whether
again.
it's you got a guy jumping across, we got an exosuit on this guy.
Fucking dog bot.
Yep.
I'm just like, bro.
And then
Dude, think about what that would do for the name of Call of Duty if they took 5
when they
years
came back, yeah.
to give us the best Call of Duty we've gotten since Modern Warfare 2, where there are like they revert back to the zombies that you want, and then also like give us the maps and gameplay that give that feeling again. They need to.
They're launching a skirmish mode that's 20 on 20, 2 teams of 20 fight to complete objectives across a large map.
Yeah, that does
and
sound
then
fun.
Overlord, 2 teams of 6 players, each fight to control a neutral EMP device that must be delivered to the enemy HO for score. So that's just search and destroy,
which I fucking love. That's all I play.
Yeah.
When I do boot up this Black Ops 6, I put my filter on to search and destroy and free for all. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I want to
So this
hardcore.
The thing that annoys me is you've got studios deciding that they want to do everything. And you know what Call of Duty was? Call of Duty was World War II games that did fucking multiplayer.
Yeah.
Leave this shit. Leave future, modern. Leave 20 on 20, 36 on 36, 64 on 64.
Yeah.
Leave that to Battlefield. They do it better.
Yeah, bro. If they gave us like a Call of Duty 2 game that was actually good, I would play the shit out of that, or something like World War I in the trenches and like different areas of World War I. But like none of this bullshit. Like they just gave us good maps for online and a good story.
The last Call of Duty I was excited for was World War II.
So I will admit I was excited for this last Black Ops 6 solely because they were bringing back round-based zombies. That's it. And it turned out that round-based zombies was underwhelming for the most part. The maps weren't that good.
Oh, right, because the one before this was like
it was weird. It was like they were trying to do like
open world type thing.
It's like Warzone style zombies.
Yeah,
it just wasn't that.
It
doesn't
gay.
work. Yeah, it doesn't work.
No, it does
So I was excited just because they brought it back, and it was like really fun for the first like 3 weeks.
Yeah, I actually had a
playing.
lot of fun playing with. I think you and I only played like twice.
Yeah, but
Which was
I played with
criminal.
a couple other friends, and like
Mhm.
it did bring back the feeling for a little bit. But
Not
yeah,
enough.
like I really do think they need to take a 5-year break, regroup, fucking come up with better ideas, and then give us a reason to be excited.
Well, the biggest issue was, or the biggest issue is the fact that the studios Treyarch and Infinity
Activision.
Ward,
Oh.
or I guess, yeah. What? Wait.
It's Activision and Infinity Ward.
Yeah.
Activision's still in the picture. I know that. 'Cause
Activision owns Treyarch now.
I think so, but I all I know is that it's Activision's like
Yeah,
one of
the big
the
one.
big yeah.
So it was two different studios that they took turns. And one could come out every year because they spent 2 years on each game.
We don't need a
And
Call of Duty every year.
yeah, but see that, but that was the point, that they were like, look, we can do one every year because because each studio spends 2 years on their game. So it's not a half-baked game, it's not bullshit. And the problem was what they ended up doing was just nothing.
Bro,
Like the stories got dumber and dumber and dumber. They started spending more time doing dumb stuff in multiplayer.
Yeah.
Dude, they've got a fucking power up where you turn into a fucking unicorn and fart on the enemy to kill them.
Look, they need to take a page out of the Rockstar playbook and take some time to create their game, create the buzz, and get the focus on a specific project, like what they do. Like Rockstar is like Call of Duty times 4 in the sense of instead of a game, rotating a game every year, Rockstar's doing like a game every 8 years, you know? And like, that's what they need to do is like take 4 years to do, like you release a Black Ops every 4 years. I guess it would be 2. So Black Ops every 4 years and then 2 years after that, a Modern Warfare comes out, like at least do something like that where you've got 4 years to develop something that actually feels different. Every fucking Black Ops and Modern Warfare game feels the same. And it's the same bullshit. It's copy and paste. It's the same issue that we're having with Assassin's Creed. Like, give us games that feel different and feel like you're actually giving us something new. Because what you're going to deal with is like people buy the game because it has Call of Duty on it. They get tired of the game in like 3 months, and then you got this huge spike for like 2
that's
months,
why
and then it drops off.
there's never ever any DLC for one of these games after about 3 to 4 months.
Right.
They'll keep doing battle passes, but I mean, how much time and how much effort does
and you'll get an update where like you get a new map. You get a new map, great. It's still the same game. Like, and then also the stories just suck. Like,
there has not been a good campaign story in. Honestly, I think since I'm pretty sure I enjoyed the Advanced Warfighter storyline, and that was the one the year before Infinite Warfare. That's the one that was in space.
You may disagree, but I would say the most fun that I had, and the last time I remember being like really excited about the story was World at War. Like that story mode.
That's a long time ago.
I know, but that story mode was fucking awesome. It was fucking awesome.
Call of Duty.
And when you do the Easter egg when you're on, I think
on the third mission to get the
ray gun.
The ray gun. Yep.
Yeah, it's fucking great, dude. I mean, give us that. Like, if they gave us something like that.
It also is the only big war game to have Pacific warfare in 20 years.
Bro, the D-Day mission, like the same mission, that D-Day mission is so fucking good. Well, technically that's not D-Day, right? That's because you're in the Pacific. That's
Well, so there's 2 stories in that game. There's a Pacific storyline and a European storyline.
yeah, both of which.
Yeah.
So
they're
another
great.
thing, like, dude, if they like, there are plenty more stories that they could do, like in, like I said, World War One. Like,
Dude, drop us in fucking Korea.
yeah. Okay, that's another. That's a war. And I think we were talking about this. I think, was it on the stream, like the Forgotten War, Korea?
Yeah. With
like,
and with similar like war style shit,
be fucking
equipment, stuff like that. Like that would
It
be
would
awesome.
be fucking sick. Yeah, I don't know why they haven't done something like that yet.
Yeah, honestly, my guess would be probably because the Chinese helped North Korea and they don't want to lose the Chinese market. That would be my guess.
Yeah, and they'd have to be very careful, I guess, about. I don't know. Fuck them. Fuck them.
Yeah, but I mean, they're only allowed to play for an hour anyway. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
And we already get them kicked off the internet when we tell them to remember, was it September 3rd at Tiananmen Square or whatever it was? Yeah, if you're ever this is the note for everyone. If you're ever playing against Chinese people and you're sick of them beating you, because they don't do anything else, just get on the chat and start talking about Tiananmen Square. Their internet will auto disconnect.
Yeah, and Jeremy, like Black Ops 3, like that's when I think it really took a downhill turn. Like right after Black Ops 3 is when it became like, I don't need to keep buying these games. I don't need to keep paying. It's the same game. It's copy and paste.
So the second I knew it was never getting back was when they released a multiplayer only video game. When they did Black Ops 4 and it was only multiplayer, I knew there's no way there's no way Call of Duty ever gets back to what it was.
Yeah, but it's like also they're releasing the same copy and paste games and there's still bugs and issues. Like, I don't understand that. So what are you doing?
Yeah, because they never fixed them to begin with.
That's what I'm saying. It's a clear sign that they're taking the code and the design of the games, and they're not like digging through everything to fix the issues. They're just like, we got to get this other game out. Like, I don't need it. But yeah. So I think that wraps it up for me. I got an early day tomorrow. So.
Yeah, me too. Oh, I love this. Someone's saying who should be next James Bond, and someone put a picture of what's this guy's name? Did you ever watch the IT Crowd?
No.
How's about, you know who Matt Berry is?
No, sir.
He was actually. Did you watch Minecraft the movie?
No, sir.
Okay. He's this guy. Oh. You know this guy?
No, sir.
Oh, he's a. Please stop calling me sir, dude. It's getting weird.
I mean, I'm just used to it now.
I know. He's a very funny actor, very funny in IT Crowd. But someone posted that picture as who should play James Bond. And I'm like, you know what? I'm here for it. Let's do it.
I'll take him over Pierre.
Fucking bullshit.
Well, dude, thank you for having me on, man.
Absolutely. I fucking love having you over here, man.
Yeah, we always have great conversations. When there's stuff to talk about.
Yeah, it's too bad there was absolutely nothing in the Capcom thing. I think I was hoping there'd be at least something to yell and complain about, but not even that.
I'm not it's boring to me to yell and complain these days because that's all we're doing. So it's good to at least have a few things to be excited for. I when that game drops, Blood Message, I hope you get it because For right now, it looks like a pretty fun adventure.
Yeah, no, it looks that like right now that there's a bunch of stuff that I have to find out about it to not buy it.
Yeah, I agree. Well, dude, I think I'm gonna get out of here.
Yep, dude, have fun, guys. We're gonna be playing some Night Rain later tonight with X-Wing and Beardo, and hopefully Beardo can actually beat a boss since he seems incapable of doing it.
Night Rain is Elden Ring, right?
Yeah, it's the which honestly is a lot better than I thought it'd be.
I always thought you only bring in like you can only bring in one character, like one person into the game. So you guys can like
so this is a game built for co-op. You can play as one, or you can play with one or three. They are bringing 2-player in, but yeah, for now it's just 1 or 3. And
that's cool.
Yeah, I mean it's like I'm shocked at how much I actually do enjoy it.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you are. All right, everyone. Pleasure.
Yeah, guys, peace out. I hope y'all have a great night again. Hopefully see y'all over here later. And peace out.